Lena Gomer.
And I'm Hailey Velarde.
And we are Twinkle Talk TV! And today we are going to play Two Truths and a Lie.
We're playing Two Truths and a Lie. Okay, so how this is going to work, if you don't know how Two Truths and a Lie, I don't know why that's such a tongue twister today. If you don't know how that works, basically, we are going to be saying two truths about ourselves or about a situation and then a lie. And the other person has to guess which the lie is. So we both came up with 3 different rounds.
I'm improvising. I did not come up with mine.
Kat's improvising. I came up with mine because I planned ahead. I believe in Kat's improv skills. So
I don't.
It's going to be... Do you want me to go first since you'll be improvising? Gives you a second to think?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my first 2 truths and a lie are... I used to play a game at recess called Hide and Go as a kid, where the other kids would count and just leave me in my hiding spot without looking for me until the bell rang. I chewed plastic as a child so much that my teeth were ground to almost nothing until my adult teeth eventually came in. I used to cry every time Photograph by Ed Sheeran played until I was like 15. Like every single time. I'm not missing a beat.
I believe that you cried to Ed Sheeran as a child, and I believe in the game, so I am going to guess that the second one is the lie.
No, so the game was a complete lie.
Oh, really?
Hide and Go, I just made up. I did, in fact, as a child, if you look at pictures of my baby teeth, they were really small, and it was because I used to chew on plastic, specifically plastic water bottles and Gatorade bottles. You know that thing that connects the cap? I used to take that off of it and chew on it. I still do that sometimes, which is really bad for my teeth, but it's like a I don't want to say oral fixation. That feels weird. It's just a thing I do sometimes. It's comforting. That's also weird. I'm going to move on. Okay.
So, when I was a child, I was hanging out with my brother and my brother's friend, and I was mad at my brother, so I convinced the other kid to play a game where we threw pine cones at my brother just because I was upset. I broke my brother's nose I almost broke his nose because he said he didn't like my favorite Pokemon. Or during COVID, I played with slime. And then one time I got it on the floor, and my father got so mad at me, and I am still scared to this day that I will never touch slime again.
I'm going to say it's the last one just because you stuttered through that entire thing.
It is the last one.
You stuttered through it all. I almost said the pine cones because I thought you said it was just another kid. I didn't know it was your brother.
It was my brother, actually, in real life.
Yeah, I didn't know it was your brother. I thought the story was it was a different kid, and that's why I was like...
that is how I told it to her in private, but it actually, in real life, was my brother, which makes it worse.
I feel like that makes it better than if it's just a random kid. Like, I would throw pine cones at my brother. So, these are all kind of related to my Papa Titi's house. Things that have happened in this house. Okay. Because for those of you who don't know, I lived there for a few years with my mom until I was like 5 or 6. I don't know. Around that age. So, I used to talk to the closet growing up when I lived in my papa's house, and I'm still afraid of that closet now to this very day. One time, I got chased around my Papa Titi's house by my brother, who was holding one of my papa's swords. I tried to eat an entire cup of noodles in one bite when I was visiting my grandpa's house when I was 14, and my mom had to give me the Heimlich because I started choking because I put it all on the fork and tried to eat it.
Okay, well, it's not I would say the middle one.
You think the sword story?
No, it's the first one.
Okay, so the closet one.
No, you've told me that one. So it has to be the last one.
So the noodles story.
Yeah.
That is true. That's a false story, but it is something that did happen, just not to me. Happened to my Auntie Amanda when she was around 14. And my mom had to come in and give her the Heimlich because she tried to eat cup of noodles in one bite.
All right.
I never did that.
So, when I was a child, I forced my brother to pretend he was a dog and eat a penny, and then he choked on it, and he was coughing up blood, which was disgusting, and my mom was mad at me. Secondly, me and my siblings used to play a game when we were younger where we would straight up just push each other down the stairs. That was the entire game. We would just push each other down the stairs. And the third one is I hid in a dryer during hide and go seek, and they had to call the firemen to get me out. And my dad was mad when, well, my dad is not mad. I don't know.
Your dad is not mad?
Okay. Well, he was mad at first.
Okay, so am I allowed to ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay, so your dad was mad. And he was mad. Why?
Well, because I was stuck in the dryer.
Okay, and you said the fireman had to get you out?
Yeah.
And that's a lie. You want to know how I know it's a lie? Because you told me that story. And in that story, Kat gets out. Okay. This is the last one from me. So, I got pantsed by a bully in front of my whole class in kindergarten. I played Foursquare so often in elementary school that the yard duties would call me Square Girl, and one time I cried because I thought they were insulting me. I earned the nickname Rock Climber as a child because I fell down a pile of rocks that I was told not to climb and landed on my back like a turtle. Or I laid on my back like a turtle after I landed.
Turtle.
So that was a real story that happened to me when I was 5. And it's still, my parents will quote, climber, because I said that and then proceeded to fall down a giant pile of rocks.
Yeah.
No, so the Foursquare was a lie. I didn't really play a lot of Foursquare growing up. And the yard duties didn't really, I mean, they knew who I was, but the only nickname I really ever had in school was Taylor Swift. That was like the one.
Me too, Queen. Me too.
Or like T Swift. That was one of my coaches. He would call me T Swift.
I got Taylor Swift.
Coach Stroff. He was a G. Okay.
My turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first one is I used to read fan fiction on the way to school on the bus in middle school. And for the second one is that one time I had to ask a kid who happened to be a furry to fix my phone, and he was unsuccessful. And the third one is that, well, I actually did let him keep the phone. And the third one is that there were so many daddy long legs in my elementary school, and I refused to believe that they were not poisonous. So, like, I was terrified of going to school for a little bit. Like, I wouldn't say it out loud, but I was scared every day of seeing a daddy long legs because I did not like spiders.
Okay, this one's a little difficult because it's one of the last two. The reason why is because the last one we just talked about daddy long legs.
Yeah.
In like, you know, like what, like last week, and we talked about it today because when we post videos, we watch them, and we'll talk about like our past content and what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
And we were discussing some old videos today, and I remember when we were rewatching, daddy long legs got brought up, so that could have been a little just like ding 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 in your head.
Well, the lie was the first one.
Oh,
because I never read fanfiction like in the outside.
I thought you did. I thought someone told me they did that.
I never read it in the outside, but I used to make gotcha videos on the outside world, which is arguably worse.
I have a fun little story time for the channel. So, fun doc for y'all. Sorry if I seem like I'm acting crazy. It's 1:30 in the morning.
It's 1:30?
Yeah.
I have a 9 a.m. tomorrow.
So, when I was it was like COVID. I went through, I was a Wattpad author, right? And maybe one day for a video, if this video gets enough likes, mayhaps one day we will go through that. Because I still have the login and I can still see things on there. But I had written a fan fiction that was for a specific fandom that I will not name. You know what it is, I've told you. But it got, look at how many views it has now. I want to say
it rhymes with subliminal lies. It's called 50 Shades of Grey.
It's at 95,000 right now, 95.8K reads. And it is a group chat fan fiction, and it did super well, like at least on Wattpad. And so I wrote that, and I wrote a poetry book on Wattpad, which low-key some of the poems on there are fire. Like I wrote them in like 8th grade. And
were
I was
you
like,
lying?
wow.
when you wrote them? Were you lying?
No.
Well, then how are they on fire? Ba-da-ba-boom.
And the crowd goes miles. Boo. In the back.
I'm low-key the next Amy Schumer. Or no, that's not
Don't
her name.
ever compare yourself to
The
her.
what's her name?
Is it not
that her
Amy
name?
Schumer? Yeah. Is that not Amy Schumer? There's an Amy that's good and an Amy that's bad.
I
I think
think
Amy Poehler's the good one.
I don't remember. I just know there's the one that makes the bad jokes.
Yeah, that's Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
No,
me.
the good Amy is Amy Poehler. I like Amy Poehler. Yeah, no, I can read you just some titles here that aren't these ones are not published, so you couldn't find them if you tried. Femme fatale. Okay. Denial in all capital letters.
Cringe.
Graduating just got difficult.
Recore.
That's actually a really cool story. It's structured weird, but I actually really like the idea behind it because it's like almost a little like dystopian. And then Lawrence Creek, a poetry book. Lawrence Creek is actually really cool. Low-key missed that. And it's a cool concept. But
low-key miss swimming in Lawrence Creek.
Lauren's a child.
I didn't know that.
Based off of like a dream I had when I was in 8th grade where it was like about a girl who passed away named Lauren, and she was a little girl, she was just a little blonde chick, and she had like a crazy life. Like it was like she was being like heavily abused, and then she died. Like her stepfather killed her, and then she died in the creek, and that was like what happened in my dream. Like in my dream I met that girl and she told me her story, and so I started writing poetry about her life.
Oh, my bad. I don't touch children.
That's what we got from that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, sucks that she died.
Yeah, I don't think she was real. I think it was just like a dream. But
well, that's crazy because didn't you tell me the thing where you can like see ghosts or like you thought you did? So that
when
could
I
be
was a
kind of
kid.
creepy.
When I was a kid, yeah. But that was like this was at a point where I hadn't been seeing them.
Yeah, but how do you know that that's not part of it?
Well, our house had been like cleansed and all the things, and I hadn't seen a ghost in a really long time.
Delusional. I love being delusional.
I can't think that my house is still haunted. I'll lose my mind. The only ghost that I think is in my house is
me. Hold your horses. And yes, I mean all 4 of them.
There's 4?
Yeah. 1 horse per child.
What children?
Our children?
Thought we had 3. What happened? Where's this new one?
You mean Lauren?
That's crazy. I do not abuse children. Just need
No, I do.
I really can't say that I abuse children because of the field that I'm currently working.
Yeah. Fuck you, Tartar.